That's a lot of coffee.
We do?
Yeah.
Ugh. No hug for me.
I'll come over there to hug you. I just didn't want you to get on it. You know.
I know. I just didn't know it was on it.
You smell very nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I put the coffee on my neck last night.
I can smell it. Would you like to hand me the milk?
Yes, that sounds good for you.
Good morning, everybody. We have to buy milk today. Maybe after Roll for Slime, we'll go to the grocery store. Maybe. Yeah. Right? I'm trying to see.
Camera point. I can open the blinds if the camera's not. Can I walk out there and do it?
Over there?
And there.
Oh, yeah, they can't see that.
They can't see either.
No. No, they cannot. How's everyone doing this morning? How's everyone? Anyone doing anything interesting? I ate an English muffin with cream cheese and jam. Oh, delicious. We are big English muffin fans in this house. Although we only have one today.
I gotta wash it.
Oh, no.
Watch
Are you ready for the Steelers today? We are ready. We're going to go at lunch to watch the game. That's what we're going to do.
We think that maybe they're not.
Apparently my husband has been doing this forever and I had no idea. Oh, working from home today due to snow. It's difficult. Snow in Texas? The cream cheese, the what do you call it? The cream cheese and jam on a English muffin.
Cream cheese on an English muffin.
Probably delicious.
It's like it's like it's a bagel.
Yeah. Treat it like a bagel, yeah, basically. I'm a little chilly. Should have put on a sweatshirt.
You know what? It's 64 in here.
Whoa.
I did not set our thing to that. It must be just cold enough out now.
Yeah.
So it's like coming.
Yeah, usually we get ice once a year. We got mostly snow. Weird. That's unusual for Texas. Is anyone who all has snow?
That was a
We
cold
don't.
snap in Texas right now.
Yeah, I know. She's got snow.
All the grocery stores, or I saw some pictures from. I tell you, like the guy I work with that's there, like went to the grocery store.
Oh, that's right.
And it
You
was
did
all, like,
tell me
empty
that.
shelves. Yeah.
Addie barely has any snow. Hey, Shelly, and she's in Minnesota. We're in Colorado. We have snow. I have leftover snow, but no new snow. We kind of have snow. -25. Yikes. 4 days
Cool.
behind, or whatever. Oh yeah, whatever, Shelly. You'll be fine.
25 is dangerous.
My sister works close to due to snow, and they forgot to inform her. That sucks. That sucks.
They forgot to do what?
They forgot to. Her sister's work closed due to snow, but forgot to tell her.
Yikes.
That's really cruel. Here, can I fill this up real quick?
Too me. No, let's do it. There you go.
That's really not great.
Not great.
Not great.
Bad, not good.
They really should have told her. Back in New York and there's no snow. Oh, you're back in New York already? If she got to work and she was like, there's no one here, and they text her and said it's closed. Oh my God. I would have been really just not a happy camper.
That's weird that it's closed, but also it's on fire.
Right. Like really. It's 41 degrees in Australia today. It's so damn hot. Oh. We have no snow at all. Liar, Becca. Liar. Australia is certainly something, that's for sure. You really have no snow, Becca? Hey, Liz. Hey, Renee. Hi. Renee has today and tomorrow off, so she's very excited.
Is tomorrow MLK times 2 day?
Is tomorrow MLK times 2 day? It never snows in Australia. Yeah, no, I wouldn't assume so. Aloha from Hawaii. Well, hello to Hawaii right back at you. Central Texas finally got snow. Yeah, seriously. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Not good, I'm assuming. Should I complain to USPS? I haven't gone down to that mail yet, Becca. Really no snow, just piles from the last snowstorm. Oh. I will check all the mails today. Whoa, what a sound.
What sound?
That ding, 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 ding. It was the spatula hitting that glass, so I didn't think it was going to make that sound. Wild. Is anyone else unreasonably tired? I'm mediumly tired. I don't know if I'd say unreasonably. No snow here, just cold, 10 degrees. No good. You'd prefer snow to 10 degrees. Yeah, I think I would also prefer snow to 10 degrees. Yeah, that seems like a thing I would prefer. Hello from the Bay Area. Just got back from Cabo San Lucas. Oh, hey, how are you? Oliver was up all night, literally. Why? It's also 10 degrees here and snow. Yikes. So many yikesies. Here you go, bub. You are welcome. It's coffee in your best Uncle Ever cup. Did you see the Lions do so good? We were out to dinner with some friends, but we did see it happen. We didn't get to watch like the whole game, but we watched the scores as it came through. Like we kept up with the score while we were out.
I kept up with the score.
I was looking over and watching, and I kept asking you about it.
The Lions won. Hooray!
The Lions won. Hooray!
Pretty good.
Detroit is
Usually
excited.
We cheer for the Rams, but we gotta cheer for the Lions.
Yeah.
They're the underdogs.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I can't remember what now. I think I put this on inside out because my pockets are on the inside. This is inside out.
Still look cute.
It's inside out, you guys. My clothes are on inside out.
You look very cute.
The only way I can fix it is if I go off camera.
Can't fix it on camera?
No.
Ooh, da-da-da. She's stripping for me, everyone.
Oh, God.
That's great. Ooh, red underwear.
Contain yourself.
We're going to delay the stream for about 10 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Wait, 5 minutes.
Oh, my God. Okay, all better. Now I have pockets. I was feeling very, like I couldn't put my hands anywhere. Okay, everything's fine, you guys. Yeah, no, don't listen. Don't listen to him. I'm just making coffee. Oh, no, that's not enough milk. What did I do? Am I dumb?
Do you want something, man?
What?
Pull some froth out of mine.
No, I just didn't pour enough in my thing.
Oh. Do you want some of the banana milk?
Not in the coffee because I put caramel in it. The race was good. The race was good.
She won the race.
I won the race. At the very least, I got a personal best, which is definitely something good. You need more milk? Oh, you're using banana milk in there. And they will make we do. We are lacking in groceries, friends. You have so much snow in Tennessee? Weird. It is Monday, but isn't it most people have the day off? I don't because my manager is a jerk. But do you guys have the day off? Secret Boyfriend has the day off. My HR department is lacking. I'm feeling about like I might report them.
I reported them.
You reported my HR department?
Yes, I did.
Cindy does not have the day off.
See something, say something. You have that sign all over our apartment.
That's right.
You have a myriad of scathing emails in your inbox.
Yeah.
Scathing.
That's why it's so hard for me to keep up with my emails. Files a complaint with HR, justified it. It's the same as the manager. Yeah, it's not good. I have the day off and I'm half asleep on the couch, but that's nice. I work, but my job is dumb. Start a new one in 2 weeks. What's the new one? Did you guys see our new little leaf babies over there? So good. I did a impressive turn with the camera close to me so that you wouldn't see Secret Boyfriend. That was pretty good. I did some fancy footwork. Can you tell your accountant that they still owe you? Yeah, they do.
Who owes you?
Brent, my accountant.
Your accountant owes you?
No, she's making a joke about the fact that we don't have HR at my company or managers or an accountant.
No, I hear the owner's stealing.
The owner's stealing from the business, yeah. The owner is stealing from the business. It's true. I gotta tell you guys, this woman, she keeps siphoning money out left and right. And honestly, I don't know how we're gonna stay afloat.
I don't know.
It's not good. She uses company money to pay her own rent.
Yikes. Yikes. Yikes.
It was a wild choice on her part. I think I'm gonna report her. What do you guys think? Do you guys think I have a case?
I'm sleeping with the owner of your company.
What? Oh my God. That's really hard to hear on your non-day off. Yeah, she uses business funds for personal gain, yeah. Yeah. She also, I know that she has used the company card to go shopping at Michael's for funsies. They're asking if you can put in a good word with me.
I'll try.
Yeah, Addie, I would love to do that. I can use them specifically for you. That would be amazing.
1, 2, 3.
Smoothie dance.
One more spin to go.
One more smoothie.
I misjudged it. Enough spinach in. We need our spinach.
We do need our spinach. Yeah. I finished the first Land of Stories last night and I loved it. The plot was I know, right, Kristen? So good. Such a great book. We actually gave it to Secret Boyfriend's oldest niece as a Christmas gift, and she just finished it and she loves it. She's so into it. Sure, but Shelly, you should put them in the thing. I bet other people would want them. What's in the smoothie today? It looks like cherries, strawberries, banana milk, a banana, avocado, spinach, carrots.
Banana. Yeah, I get it. It's a lot. A little bit of protein powder.
A little bit of protein powder.
For our mussies.
For my sad muscles.
Your sad muscles.
They did it. They did a good. They did a good race. They did a fast.
They did do it fast.
They did do a fast. But yeah, his niece loved the first Land of Stories so much that she's getting the other ones from her library, and she loaned her dad the first book so that he could read it with her, and then grandma's gonna read it, and we're all gonna have read Land of Stories together, which is so cute.
They are huge soft fans.
What?
They love you.
Oh yeah, but the book is good.
They're huge fans of you.
Yeah, and we're huge fans of Land of Stories as a collective. It was a good find. It was a good accidental find. I finally made one of your lives yet. Yay! Hi! Welcome. So if anyone is here but doesn't know this, we are Roll for Sliming tonight at 4 o'clock. It's a little earlier than usual because most people have the day off, and that would be nice for me. Raina has all of them, so I just read them off. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They can all talk about it together. I told...
You know, the Steelers get close. You start at 1:30, it'll still be going on when you go live.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, football games are usually 3 hours.
Should I postpone it?
No. It won't be close.
Oh.
One way. I don't think.
Oh.
I mean, I guess we're gonna be. I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll do 4:30.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Safer.
All right. I was just gonna say you're gonna be live during the game. Okay, yeah. Well, I haven't posted the agenda yet anyway, so when I post the agenda, I'll post the official time.
One more.
I did say between. You failed? What happened?
I don't know.
Liz, I did tell her and your mom that all the kids have been reading them, so if you guys want to talk about them together, you can. That's fun. So yes, there is a donut on the tree. Up there, donut, tree donut.
Liz?
Yeah.
Hey, Liz.
So everybody can read the same books together. That being said, let's get into it. We are going to continue our group read of... Oh, before I get started, I wanted to tell you guys, I started a new book yesterday called The Midnight Library. So good. Highly recommended already. I'm barely just like a couple of chapters into it, and it's really, really, really good.
I'm taking all the credit for reading this.
It's true. He's the one who...
Also, when we were at the bookstore, I was like, that sounds sci-fi.
It does sound... You read it? Oh, yeah? I did abandon the other one. Yeah, I put it on the shelf. I left a bookmark in the spot that I was at, and maybe I'll go back to it, maybe I won't. But the book that I picked up instead, which we had bought at the same time as this book, is called The Midnight Library, and it's so good. There's a tiny part of me that was like, man, I should have saved this for book club because it's that kind of good, but I'm already in it now, so whatever, and we're not done with this. But I'm going to recommend it to you all anyway. Please consider reading it if you... It is the premise, just so you know if you're interested in it or not, is that this woman, it says, they use the term, she decides to die. And when she decides to die, she enters what's called the Midnight Library. This is all on the back, so this is not any spoilers or anything. She enters what's called the Midnight Library. And in the Midnight Library, there are thousands and thousands or millions of books, and each one that you can take down is like you made one decision different in your life and what path that life took. You read it, Liz? Yeah. And that's funny, Becca. And so she... I'm not far enough into it to see what all happens, but I guess she gets to see what different choices would have made different lives. And if you guys know, having worked on the musical If Then, I love this concept because that's basically, that's not the concept of If Then because no one dies in If Then, but like the main character isn't like dead in If Then. She just like, you get to see two different choices play out. If you like this kind of concept and you've never listened to the musical If Then, may I take this time to suggest that as well? Idina Menzel was the star of our show, and it is gut-wrenchingly beautiful and wonderful, and the music is so good. It's Tom Kitt and Brian Yorkie who wrote Next to Normal. And, oh wow, that's a big smoothie. Thank you.
It's very healthy.
It's very healthy.
You have to drink it all.
Yummy. I try not to, Kristen. Kristen, I did see your comment, though. I think there is one out there, Shelly. I think there is a slime tutorial of If Then out there. If we find it, maybe we can share it. How's the iron coming? Well, I haven't been retested or anything. We've been trying to put a lot more in. I won't really know until I get my levels retested. If you're asking if I'm any less tired, not really. But also, I don't know. Whatever.
We're trying.
Yeah. Anyway, let's read. And good morning, Jen. You made it just in time. Yeah, life is exhausting. I found this super yummy cereal that's only sweetened with maple syrup and dates. That's probably amazing, Kristen. I would say yes to that. All right. Chapter 9 is called Sailing Circles Around the Bermuda Triangle. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys know about this about me, but I'm obsessed with like the Bermuda Triangle and all things Bermuda Triangle lore. So I'm going to be into this chapter.
What?
No, I was talking to them.
What?
I was talking to them.
Oh, you looked at me though.
Yeah, I was just trying to see what you were doing.
Oh.
All right. Sailing circles around the Bermuda Triangle. The pirates scurried across the decks of the Dalai Lama like panicked ants. They blew out all the torches, lanterns, and candles until the ship sailed in total darkness. With the moon as their only source of light, they lowered their sails and took advantage of the night breeze. The sailors were released from cells below deck and put to work loading and positioning the cannons. All it took was the mention of Smoky Sail Sam's name, and the sailors didn't hesitate to join in the Dalai Lama's crew. Admiral Jacobson stood at the front of the ship with one leg on the bowsprit. He scanned the sea ahead to make sure there was nothing the ship might collide with in the darkness. "Looks clear," he called up to the captain. "I'll let you know if that changes." Auburn Sally kept a firm grip on her ship's wheel and a close eye on the approaching fleet of pirates behind them. With every minute, Smoky Sail Sam was getting closer and closer to the Dalai Lama. The captain prayed Connor's shortcut would work and they would finally defeat Sam and his crew. "You sail to the west of the Parakeet Island, past the Isle of Skulls, and then what do we do?" she asked. "And then we sail to the right in a circle for an entire day," he said. "The legend states if you travel starboard for a day in the Bermuda Triangle, it'll take you to Starboardia, hence the name." "Yes, I know the legend," Auburn Sally said. "Every pirate's heard the myth. Are you sure it's real?" Connor was getting tired of repeating himself. "Yes, I'm positive," he said. "It's how you guys find the end of the story. I'm sure it'll work now, too." "So, Starboardia is an actual location?" Alex asked. "Why else would I name the story Starboardia?" her brother said. Alex shrugged. "I thought it was just a cute name based on pirate lingo," she said. "Is there also a Port World or a Portopia or a Portland?" Connor froze and thought about it for a second. "No, but that would be a great name for a sequel," he said. "I should write that down." "Let's stay focused on the original," Alex said. "Is Starboardia a country?" "Starboardia is an ancient island." Oh, excuse me, wrong voice. "Starboardia is an ancient island," Auburn Sally said. "It's believed to be the only surviving land from the lost city of Atlantis. It's nearly impossible to find because it floats around the Bermuda Triangle like a large ship and never passes through the same part of the sea twice. They say the debris from all the shipwrecks in the Caribbean eventually washes ashore on the island's coast." "Nice backstory, Connor," Alex said. "How will Starboardia help us defeat Smoky Sail Sam?" "Hundreds of years ago, when the Europeans first settled in the Americas, an indigenous tribe was forced off their island by the white men who settled there," Auburn Sally said. "The tribe was so outnumbered 10-1, so they had no choice but to vacate and hope that they would find another island somewhere in the Caribbean. They set sail and were caught in the middle of a horrible hurricane. When the storm finally cleared, they saw Starboardia in the distance. The tribe used all the wreckage on the island and managed to build a magnificent fortress. The structure was carefully designed to help them defeat an enemy that outnumbered them 10-1 should they ever be invaded again." "Oh, I get it now," Alex said. "We're going to use the fortress. How fun!" "Exactly," Connor said. "Including Sally's pirates and Jacobson's sailors, we have about 50 people on this ship. Smoky Sail Sam has 5 ships and about 100 pirates each, so the fortress should do the trick." Suddenly, the twins and the captain were startled by the loud eruptions coming from above. Everyone aboard the Dalai Lama looked up and saw red fireworks exploding in the sky. With each bright burst, the ocean and the ship were brightly illuminated by red light. "Where are those coming from?" Connor asked. They turned to the fleet of pirate ships in the distance and saw another set of fireworks being launched from their decks. "Smoky Sail Sam," Auburn Sally said as the fireworks exploded overhead. They're using them to see us in the dark, clever scum." Since all the light on board the Dalai Lama had been extinguished, the approaching fleet had lost track of them, but they were headed in a slightly different direction. Now, with the fireworks illuminating the ship, the fleet repositioned itself and was once again heading straight for the Dalai Lama. "What do we do now?" Connor asked. "Pray the wind is stronger with us than it is with them," the captain said. "Otherwise, we might not make it to Starboardia." Connor paced the deck, trying to think of a way to put distance between their ship and the fleet. At this point, Alex didn't care how much her brother opposed her help. She wasn't going to let his pride jeopardize their mission. When he was facing the other way, Alex covertly pointed at the sky. Almost instantaneously, thick clouds blew in and covered the stars. The atmosphere became too humid for the fireworks to go off. Now that the fireworks were taken care of, the Dalai Lama needed a boost so that the fleet wouldn't catch up.
Alex took a deep breath and blew air toward the sails. A strong breeze came out of nowhere and pushed the ship a little faster, causing everyone on board to jolt. "Captain, it's a miracle!" Siren Sue shouted from the crow's necks. "The clouds are blocking the fireworks and the wind is making us sail faster!" The pirates and the sailors cheered in celebration. Aubrey and Sally stared at the sky in awe. Connor was surprised at how quickly the weather had changed in their favor. It was a little too convenient. "Alex, cut it out. I told you, no magic." Did that mess things up? Can you guys... Duolingo tried to give me a what do you call it? Duolingo tried to give me an alert. Did it pause me, or could you guys still hear me? You were good? Oh, okay, great. Perfect. His sister shrugged innocently. "Oh, it wasn't me," she said. "Must be some kind of tropical storm." "Yeah, nice try," Connor said, "but tropical storms don't blow in clouds in one direction and ships in the other." Aubrey and Sally eyed the sky again and noticed the strange phenomenon he was referring to. "What is going on?" she asked. "Your sister is causing this?" "Yeah," he said. "I forgot to mention she has magical powers, but don't encourage her. This is my story and my project. I can get us to Starboardia and help you defeat Smoky Sails Sam on my own." Connor stomped off to the upper deck and joined Admiral Jacobson at the front of the ship. Aubrey and Sally's imagination had been broadened so much by the twins, and this was hard to grasp. She sauntered over to Alex and casually leaned on the railing. "Men," she said with a sigh. "They always want to feel like they're in control." "It's my own fault," Alex said. "He asked for my help earlier and I kind of embarrassed him about it, and now he thinks he has to prove himself." "Rule number 1 on my ship, no woman is allowed to take orders from a man," Aubrey and Sally said. "That's a philosophy I could get behind," Alex said. "Then, as your captain, I order you to leave Smoky Sails Sam's fleet a few presents behind us," the captain said, "if you get my drift." Alex and Aubrey and Sally shared a smile, and Alex knew exactly what she meant. She turned towards the fleet and in the distance pointed at the water. Several clusters of sharp rocks stuck out of the ocean behind them. "Atta girl," the captain said. The obstructions and the wind helped the Dalai Lama gain distance from Smoky Sails Sam's fleet. Soon the pirate ships had shrunk so much in the distance behind them that they could barely see the trails of smoke emitting from their sails. The Dalai Lama sailed through the night, and by sunrise the Parakeet Islands appeared on the horizon ahead. Unfortunately, the rising sun gave the fleet of pirate ships a better view of the ocean, and the Dalai Lama was spotted again. The ship entered a narrow channel between the Parakeet Islands, and the crew learned why Connor had named them so. The islands were covered with thousands and thousands of colorful birds. It was a beautiful sight, but the farther the ship sailed through the channel, the louder the birds' squawking became. As if they were competing for the pirates' attention, each bird tried to outsing the next. When the Dalai Lama reached the center of the channel, the sound became deafening. The whole ship covered their ears and moaned. "Put a sock in it!" Connor yelled at the birds. "Put a sock in it! Put a sock in it!" The parakeets mimicked. "Put a sock in it! Put a sock in it!" Alex couldn't stand the noise any longer. She snapped her fingers and bird seed rained on the islands. The parakeets swooped down from the trees to feed and went silent. Connor shot his sister a look, but one of gratitude. "Okay, I suppose some magic won't hurt," he said. "But nothing crazy. The Dalai Lama's crew has to feel accomplished too." A twinkle came into Admiral Jacobson's eye as he watched the birds eat the seed. "You know, the red worm is known to cleanse a parakeet's stomach," he said. "Perhaps we should leave a nasty storm behind for Sam's fleet." The twins made eye contact, and mischievous smiles grew on their faces. "Oh, Connor," Alex said as she clasped her hands together. "Please, please, please let me leave red worms behind." "Yeah, you gotta," he said. "It's just too good." Alex jumped up and down giddily and snapped her fingers again. Small red worms rained down on the island too, and the parakeets happily dug in. The Admiral and the twins laughed as they imagined the mess the birds would leave on the fleet later that day. A few hours after exiting the channel, the Dalai Lama sailed past the Isle of Skulls. It was a creepy island with a permanent layer of fog hanging in the air. The shore had no beaches and was lined with dark, eerie caves. The land was littered with large rocks that had been chiseled to look like human skulls. Alex could have sworn that the heads were following her as the ship passed them. "Hey, Connor, watch this," Alex said. She cleared her throat, and all the skulls started singing an obnoxiously loud song by a boy band the twins knew from the radio. "Oh, baby, baby, please don't play this game. My heart's so full of shame. My love cannot be tamed. I'm a moth and you're a flame. And even though that's lame, remind me of your name. Oh, Connor. The twins were laughing so hard that their stomachs hurt. The rest of the ship screamed and pointed at the possessed skulls. "It's the devil's magic!" Winking Wendy shouted. The pirates waved crucifixes at the islands and shot the rocks with their rifles. Alex figured the joke had gone far enough, and she cleared her throat again, and the skulls returned to normal. Once the Isle of Skulls was far behind the Dalai Lama, Connor excitedly ran from the front of the ship to Auburn Sally's side on the upper deck. "All right, we've passed the Isle of Skulls," he said. "Time to travel starboard." "And if we sail in circles to the right all night, we'll find Starboardia?" Auburn Sally asked. "More like Starboardia will find us," Connor said. The captain stepped to the side of the wheel and presented it to him. "Would you like to do the honors, Commander Bailey?" she asked. "Oh gosh," he said. "Sure." Connor had never even driven a car, so he wasn't going to turn down this opportunity to steer a pirate ship. Sorry guys, I don't know why I keep tripping over my words so much today. He put his hands on the wheel and could have sworn that he felt the ship's heartbeat pulsing through it. It was an exhilarating sensation with just the slightest movement. He had the power to change the ship's course and the crew's destiny. It reminded him of the feeling he had when he wrote, but it was 10 times stronger. He was living and breathing the adventure that he had only dreamt about. Naturally, being chased by a fleet of dangerous pirates took some of the fun out of steering the ship, but it was thrilling nonetheless. Since they had arrived, he had been angry, frustrated, anxious, and scared by different things, but the excitement of being in the world that he created never left him. He wished every author got to feel what he was feeling right now. As the sun started setting, it illuminated the ocean's waves around the Dalai Lama like golden zebra stripes. Connor turned the wheel as far to the right as it would go and tied it down. "Starboardia, here we come!" That night, all the pirates and the sailors gathered in Auburn Sally's chamber so that Connor could tell them what to expect the next day. It was strange to prepare them for a place that he had technically never been before, so he could only rely on the images in his head and hope that they matched. The rosary chicken got cozy on Alex's lap, and she stroked her feathers while she listened to her brother. "Ladies and gentlemen, and chicken," Connor said, "welcome to Starboardia 101. I'm assuming by now, whether you've been eavesdropping or by word of mouth, everyone knows why we're headed to Starboardia." Not So Jolly Joan and Too Much Rum Rhonda raised their hands. "No one ever tells me anything," Not So Jolly Joan said and burst into tears. I was told, but I don't remember too much," Too Much Rum Rhonda said as she hiccuped so hard that she fell off her seat. "No worries, I'll explain," Connor said. "We're outnumbered 10-1 by Smoky Sails Sam's fleet. There's a fortress on Starboardia that was designed for a group in just our exact predicament. The fortress is filled with hundreds of booby traps. There are trapdoors, human slingshots, swinging blades, endless mazes, and much, much more. The fortress is activated and the traps will go off every 30 seconds. Unless you want to be crushed, cut in half, or fall to your death, listen to this part very carefully. There are safe zones throughout the fortress painted in red. 5 seconds before the traps are set off, you'll hear a bell. When you hear the bell, find one of those safe zones immediately. I've come up with a motto to help those of us who have difficulty remembering directions. Repeat after me. In red, ain't dead." "In red, ain't dead," the pirates and sailors repeated. "Very good," Connor said. "Now, once we're on the island and find the fortress, we have to wait until all Smoky Sails men are inside before we can activate it. The fortress sort of works like a clock. It's a very heavy net of boulders pulling on gears located at the top, which turns and operates all the booby traps. And then the net is held up by 21 ropes, and needs all 21 ropes to support it. Once one of these ropes is cut, another rope will snap under the pressure every 30 seconds, causing the net of boulders to drop a little lower, which pulls on the gears and activates the booby traps. Does this all make sense?" The pirates and the sailors stared at Connor like he was speaking another language. Even Alex was having a hard time following along. "Those are just the logistics, in case anyone was wondering," Connor said. "There's only one thing that you have to remember, which is..." "In red, ain't dead," the pirates and the sailors said in unison. They were very proud of themselves, and they looked like dogs expecting treats. "Great!" Connor said. Everybody break a leg tomorrow, and no offense, somersault, Sydney. None taken, the legless pirate said. As the Dalai Lama sailed in large starboard loops around the Bermuda Triangle, the pirates, sailors, and the twins went to bed to rest up for the following day. In the sleeping quarters below deck, rows of white hammocks were stacked from floor to ceiling. It was chilly down there, so Alex and Connor were thankful that their mother had packed sweatshirts for them. The hammocks swung with the sway of the ship, and they were very relaxing. Soon the pirates and the sailors fell asleep. Their snoring was so loud that the twins were worried the sides of the ship would burst open. Alex gazed down at the hammock below her to see if Connor was still awake. "Oh, good. You're still up too," she said. "I don't think the dead could sleep through this," he said. "Are you nervous about tomorrow?" she asked. "A little bit," he said with a long sigh. "I just hope it all works out so that the trip here hasn't been for nothing." Alex could sense the doubt in his voice. She felt a little guilty. If she had been more supportive and encouraging in the beginning, he probably wouldn't be so cynical right now. "Everything's gonna be fine," Alex said. "You're a really great author, Connor. I keep forgetting to tell you how impressed I am by all of this. Every bit of your story is so well thought out and entertaining. The more it unfolds, the more intrigued I become, and I can't wait for you to write your first book. There are millions of little Alexes and Connors around the world who are gonna love it." Connor was touched by his sister's words. It meant a lot coming from her since he was convinced that she had read every book in the world. "Thanks, Alex," he said. "I could never have met Jack and Goldilocks if it wasn't for you, so thanks for supplying the inspiration." "But think of everything you came up with on your own," she said. "You would have done just fine without me. I wish I had your imagination. What's your secret to making stories so good? Do you have any writing tricks or rituals?" Connor had never thought about it before. He thought back to the very first time that he wrote a story and recalled a tool that had helped him write ever since. "Well, whenever I write, I imagine things in Dad's voice," he said. "I try to describe everything with the same energy and enthusiasm he had when he read stories to us. Sometimes I miss him the most, and sometimes when I miss him the most, writing makes me feel like he's right there with me. It's almost like he's telling me the story and I'm just writing it down." That brought tears to their eyes. Alex knew exactly what he meant because her dad's narrative was ingrained in her mind too. Yes, slime is the secret writing tool. I agree. Whenever they thought about John Bailey, they didn't think about the night they lost him, the funeral that followed, or the days they spent mourning him. They remembered the nights when he read them fairy tales by the fireplace in their old house, the animated gestures he'd make while acting out every scene, and the different voices he made for every character. Their father was a storyteller in every sense of the word, and Connor had inherited that same gift. "Dad would be so proud of you, Connor," Alex said. "He would have loved everything about Starboardia." "He'd be proud of you too, Alex," Connor said. "Other 15-year-olds would have given up on saving the fairy tale world by now." The twins laughed at the thought of another brother-sister duo doing the same extremes. Alex cast a spell so that their roommates would snore in silence and let the twins sleep to the sway of the ship rocking them to sleep. In silence, and the twins let the sway of the ship rock them to sleep too. Well, that was fast. Starboardia. The following morning, the entire ship was awoken by a loud clanging coming from above the deck. "Land ho!" the siren Sue yelled and rang the bell in the crow's nest. The pirates, sailors, and twins quickly swung out of their hammocks and ran up the steps to the lower deck. They dashed to the bowsprit. I don't know that word. They dashed to the bowsprit and joined Aubrey, Sally, and Admiral Jacobson at the front of the ship. The sun had just started rising and slowly shed light on an island directly ahead. It had a beach littered with wooden debris and was covered in thick forest of tropical trees. The crew could make out the tip of the large fortress towering over the trees at the center of the island. "That's it!" Connor yelled. "That's Starboardia!" There wasn't any time to rejoice because the discovery was immediately followed by thunderous sounds of firing cannons. "We've got company!" Siren Sue shouted and pointed at the ocean behind the Dalai Lama. Like a stampede, the twins and the pirates and the sailors ran across the lower deck, climbing the steps to the upper deck, and crowded the railing at the back of the ship. The 5 large pirate ships of Smoky Sail Sam's fleet were so close they could smell the torches burning above the sails, and the ships were headed straight for them. A bowsprit is a Oh, well, thank you for that information. The ship in the center was the largest, and Alex knew it was the Vengeance without having to ask. It was the color of charcoal and flew in enormous black sails. The Vengeance's sides and bows were covered with metal spikes, making it resemble a large floating cactus. A flag with an image of broken shackles flew proudly at the top of the tallest mast. All the decks of the 5 ships were swarming with pirates eager for a fight. The Vengeance fired its cannons at the Dalai Lama, and the cannonballs splashed in the water beside it. Each splash crept closer and closer to the ship. "We've got to get to the island right now," Connor yelled. Auburn Sally stood on a barrel and whistled to get her crew's attention. "Everyone gather as many weapons as you can and carry them to the boats," she ordered. "We'll lower ourselves to the water and row to the island." "They're going to blow the ship apart," Admiral Jacobson said. "We don't have time to lower the boats. We have to abandon ship now." Connor shared a fearful look with his sister, and they read each other's minds. A little more magic couldn't hurt right now. "Everyone follow the captain's orders," Alex said. "I'll keep the pirates busy until we get off the ship." The crew nodded and split up at once. Alex stood on the railing and faced the oncoming fleet. She twirled her index fingers in the air, and 2 cyclones raised out of the water between the Dalai Lama and the Vengeance. She pointed the fleet, and the cyclones whizzed towards the pirate ship like bulls releasing from a pen. The pirates abandoned their vessels and dived into the water. The cyclones crashed into 2 of the 5 ships, obliterating them completely. While Alex stalled the fleet, the crew aboard the Dalai Lama unloaded 4 heavy chests filled with weapons. They stuffed their vests, pants, clothes, and boots with as many rifles and swords and daggers as possible. Connor ran below deck and retrieved the twins' backpacks. As he headed back up, he found the Rosary chicken on the step behind him. "Baka?" the chicken asked, tilting her head. "I'm sorry, but a battle's no place for a chicken," Connor said. "You gotta stay on the ship." "Baka?" she squawked, horribly offended. "I'm not calling you a chicken. You are a chicken," he said. This is ridiculous. I'm arguing with a typo. That's an amazing line. That's an amazing line. I'm arguing with a typo. That was good. That was a good one. The Rosary chicken puffed out her feathers and extended her wings. She had the heart of a turkey, the determination of a duck, and the bravery of a goose. Misspelled or not, she was ready for combat. "Fine, but you gotta stay in my bag," Connor said. He tucked the Rosary chicken into his backpack and left the zipper open enough so that the chicken could peek her head out. Connor met his sister on the upper deck and handed her his backpack. Handed Alex her backpack. They joined Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson in the boat, and they were lowered into the water. Once the entire crew was off the Dalai Lama, they rowed the boats to the shore of Starboardia. Smoky Sail Sam's men weren't too far behind. All 500 pirates swam after the Dalai Lama's crew. There was so much splashing, it looked like a school of hungry sharks was headed for the island. "Everyone follow me," Connor told the crew. "The fortress is just through these trees." Alex, Auburn Sally, Admiral Jacobson, and the crew followed Connor as he raced through the tropical trees. The Admiral's first mate gave Somersault Sydney a piggyback ride so that she could keep up. Except for a few birds and a couple large iguanas, the island was mostly deserted. They emerged into a clearing at the center of the island and found the legendary fortress of Starboardia. "My God," Auburn Sally said. "Connor," Alex gasped. "It's amazing." It was a breathtaking sight, and everyone stopped in their tracks to take it in. The fortress was like a large Mayan pyramid constructed entirely out of broken pieces from hundreds of old ships. Everywhere they looked, they spotted masts, bowsprits, sails, planks, bows, wheels, rudders, crow's nests, and flags, all pieced together to form one massive structure. It was 12 levels high and looked like a labyrinth of ladders, slides, rope bridges, swings, and tunnels. It was like a gigantic jungle gym, but it definitely wasn't for children. The structure was built on stilts over a shallow lake with sharp rocks that was home to dozens of alligators. The only way inside the pyramid was up a rickety staircase that led to the first level. The Dalai Lama's crew carefully climbed up the steps and entered the fortress. The inside was hollow, and the bottom of the floor gave a perfect view of the 11 levels above. The bottom floor gave a perfect view of 11 levels above it. Hanging in the very center of the pyramid like a chandelier was a heavy net filled with dozens of large boulders. It hung from a chain connected to the ceiling full of gears, and it was secured by 21 ropes. Scattered all over the floor were safe areas outlined in red that Connor had informed them about. Well, Alex said. She glanced around the fortress. Is this what you were expecting? That and so much more, Connor said breathlessly. I feel like I planted a seed and all of this grew out of it. The crew heard the trees rustling outside the pyramid. They walked to the edge of the first level and saw Smoky Sail Sam's army of 500 pirates emerge from the clearing. The men were so rugged and filthy that they made Auburn Sally's pirates look like contestants in a beauty pageant. They were soaking wet from their swim, and thanks to the red worms that Alex had left on Parakeet Island, their raggedy clothes were stained with bird droppings. After a wild goose chase around the Caribbean, the pirates were ready to take out their aggression on the Dalai Lama's crew. Most of the pirates were covered in tattoos and had missing limbs, teeth, eyeballs, and ears. Their appendages were all replaced by traditional-looking hooks and peg legs. Their appendages weren't replaced by traditional-looking hooks and peg legs, but by daggers, razor blades, and metal spears. Smoky Sail Sam was the last in the group of pirates to step into the clearing. He was 7 feet tall with a long, dreadlocked beard. His coat, hat, belt, and boots were all made from black leather. A long sword proportionate to his height and a silver revolver hung from his belt. His appearance was just as intimidating as his reputation. The pirate known as Killy Billy stood beside him. He had large, bulging eyes and greasy hair. He was shirtless, and his chest and arms and back were covered with tattoos like tally marks. Each strike represented someone that he had killed. Just like the Dalai Lama's, you can almost smell them. I can also smell them. They don't smell good. They don't smell good. Don't fall back asleep, Shelley. Now is not the time. We're in the middle of a battle. You cannot fall asleep in the middle of a battle. Just like the Dalai Lama's crew had, Smoky Sail Sam's men stared up at the structure in astonishment. It was as if they were facing a forgotten wonder of the world. What do we have here? Smoky Sail Sam said in a deep, raspy voice. Looks like little Christine Conley discovered Starboardia. Look up there, Killy Billy said, and he pointed to the crew on the first level of the fortress. It's that thief and her hags, and they have Admiral Jacobson and his Navy dogs with them. Join forces with me. Join forces to finish me off. Have you? Smoky Sail Sam chuckled. It's gonna take more than an ancient treehouse to defeat my men. The Dalai Lama's crew gulped in fear. Auburn Sally put on a brave face and roared with laughter. Did you hear that? The captain asked. Smoky Sail Sam think he has men. That's funny, because I don't see any men below us. I only see swine. The pirates roared angrily at the women and the men on the pyramid. Don't worry, boys, Smoky Sail Sam said. We'll put Captain Auburn Sally in her place. Just like everyone who steals from me, she'll end up at the bottom of the Atlantic. Attack! The pirates charged up the staircases and stormed into the fortress. The Dalai Lama crew spread out on all levels of the pyramid, and Smoky Sail Sam's men followed them. The clanking swords echoed through the structure as Auburn Sally's women and Admiral Jacobson's men bravely took on Smoky Sail Sam's crew. Once all 500 pirates were inside the structure, Auburn Sally pointed her pistol at the ropes supporting the net of boulders and fired. The net descended several feet, pulling on the gears above, and the fortress came to life. The pyramid worked more like a clock than Connor was anticipating. As the gears were pulled by the net, all 12 levels of the fortress rotated. The even levels turned clockwise, the odd levels turned counterclockwise, and the booby traps were all triggered. The first chime went off, and the Dalai Lama's crew quickly found the areas marked in red to stand on, crouch under, or hide behind. Winking Wendy and the Navy sailors were fighting Sam's pirate on the first level. They stepped into red circles drawn on the floor and watched as all the pirates around them fell through trapdoors and plunged into the lake below the fortress. The alligators splashed around happily. The conflict above was going to supply the biggest meal they'd ever had. The second level of the pyramid was covered in rope bridges. Sam's pirates chased Fish Lips Lucy around one side and Pancake Face Patty around the other, and the women met on the red platform between the bridges. When the traps were set off, the bridges snapped like large slingshots, and the pirates were launched off the pyramid. Stinky Feet Phoebe and Peg Leg Peggy were dueling pirates in long wooden tunnels between the third and fourth levels. 5 seconds after the first chime went off, the women curled into a cubby outlined in red. A massive stone rolled through the tunnel, knocking Smoky Sam's men down like bowling pins. It rolled right past the women without leaving a scratch. On the 5th level, Somersault Sydney and the Admiral's first mate were battling 8 of Sam's pirates each. They slid under a red platform just as stone blocks from the ceiling fell on top of their attackers. Somersault Sydney barely made it under the platform in time. She would have lost her legs if she hadn't been ready. High Tide Tabitha and Catfish Kate were fighting pirates back to back on the staircase between the 6th and 7th levels. They stayed on the only red steps and the rest of the They stayed on the only red steps, and the rest of the staircase was flattened into a slide. The pirates slid down the slide and into a chute and dropped them into the lake below. Big Booty Bertha had taken a wrong turn on the 8th level and was surrounded by Smoky Sail Sam's pirates. The floor was tiled, and Big Birdie... These names are very hard to read aloud over and over and over again because they're all alliteration. The floor was tiled, and Big Booty Bertha sighed with relief when she looked down and saw that she was standing on the only red tile. Sharp spikes shot up from the floor and pierced through the pirates' feet. They all grabbed their injured feet and hopped around in pain. Unfortunately, Big Booty Bertha's backside was larger than the tile, and one of her buttocks was scratched by a spike. On the 9th level of the pyramid, Siren Sue was running from pirates shooting rifles at her. She dived behind a red door just as an avalanche of logs swung through that level. The pirates were knocked down and rolled off the pyramid with the logs. Not So Jolly Joan and Too Much Rum Rhonda wandered around the 10th level looking for someplace safe to hide. They weren't paying any attention and fell right through the trap door and directly into a cage. It wasn't an ideal place to be, but the women figured they were safe enough. Too Much Rum Rhonda and Not So Jolly Joan shared a bottle of rum while they watched their friends battle the pirates around them. The floor of the 11th level was covered with unstable floorboards that spun, teetered, or just broke as soon as they were stepped on. Auburn, Sally, and Admiral Jacobson fought Sam's pirates while keeping their balance on the stable floorboards painted red. To make matters much worse, the 11th level was also subject to large swinging blades that the captain and the admiral had to avoid. The blades sliced into Sam's pirates and knocked them out of the pyramid. You okay? You getting okay?
What?
I asked if you were okay.
I'm dead.
Oh no. Did the pirates get you?
Pirates? Oh no. What? What?
We're in the middle of a huge pirate battle. And I said, did the pirates get it? And you said pirates like you were surprised that there were pirates.
I'm listening to it.
I know, you should.
I'm sorry.
He's got his headphones in, guys, but it was funny to us because it was funny. Pirates? Oh no, not that, anything but pirates. From the 12th and top level of the pyramid, Alex and Connor could see the Dalai Lama crew fighting the pirates on all the levels below. Connor heard something rattling at the bottom of his backpack and found that the Rosary chicken had laid a bunch of eggs inside it. The excitement was too much for her. Swoopy-haired secret boyfriend, that's a good pirate name. Not so brave now, are you? Connor said. The Rosary chicken lowered her head in shame. The twins threw the eggs at the pirate below, causing them to slip and slide off the structure. They caught the attention of Killy Billy, and the murderous pirate climbed up to the 12th level, bringing a gang of pirates with him. Hey there, kitties, the tattooed pirate called after them. I've got enough room on my right arm for 2 more victims. Yeah, go take a long walk off a short plank, Connor yelled back. Killy Billy and the pirates chased the twins around the top of the fortress. When they reached the south side, the floor crumbled under their feet. The twins spotted the red monkey bars above and grabbed them to keep from falling. Unfortunately, Killy Billy and the pirates saw them too and hung from them as well. They swung towards the twins and tried to knock them off. The Rosary chicken fluttered out of Connor's backpack and began pecking at one of the pirates' fingers until they slipped from the bars. And then she moved on to the next pirate. Soon Killy Billy was the only pirate left hanging. He had one hand on the bars and reached for his rifle with the other. Alex gave him a nasty look, and all the tally marks tattooed on his body magically turned into ticks. The pests dug into his skin, and he screamed. He lost his grip on the bars and fell all the way through the fortress and landed in the lake below. The alligators dived after him, and Killy Billy never resurfaced. Alex and Connor swung across the bars to avoid the floor. The rosary chicken crawled back into Connor's backpack and boastfully clucked up at him. "All right, you redeemed yourself," Connor said. "Don't get a big head about it. No one likes a cocky chicken." Every 30 seconds, another chime would ring and another rope would snap. The Dalai Lama crew would find another red zone to shield themselves from the traps of the pyramid. Smoky Sail Sam's pirates weren't so lucky. His men were dropping like flies around the fortress. Soon they were reduced to half their original size, and then to a quarter, and then to numbers between Smoky Sail Sam and Sam's crew and the Dalai Lama were even. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before Sam's men were outnumbered. Smoky Sail Sam didn't care about his pirates as much as he cared about retribution. He pushed his way through the structure, carefully avoiding the traps, and headed for Auburn Sally. When 11 of the 21 ropes had snapped, the pyramid was halfway through its course, and all the traps seized, and the areas in red stopped being safe zones. Instead of red platforms, cubbies, and tiles, they started transforming the Dalai Lama's crew member to different levels throughout the fortress. Winking Wendy was catapulted from the first level to the third by a spring hidden in the floor. Siren Sue was dropped into a slide on the 9th level that spat her out on the 7th. The platforms High Tide Tabitha and Catfish Kate stood on were connected and turned into a lift. High Tide Tabitha descended into the level below, and her weight sent Catfish Kate into the level above. Alex and Connor were standing on a red ledge when it suddenly collapsed and dumped them into a small cart. The cart rolled down a hidden track through the pyramid, and the twins felt like they were on a roller coaster. They tripped and pushed all the pirates as they zoomed past them and high-fived the Dalai Lama's crew as they went. On the 11th level, Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson ran across a wooden bridge that suddenly dropped 2 levels down and swung through the air by chain ropes. Like a faulty elevator, every 30 seconds, the bridge descended another 2 levels. The captain and the admiral would hop off the bridge and help their crew fight the remaining pirates and then ride it down further. The element of surprise was exactly what the Dalai Lama's crew needed to defeat the remaining pirates of Smoky Sail Sam's fleet. The pirates lost all sense of whereabouts of the men and women that they were fighting, which left them confused and more vulnerable. By now, there were fewer than 50 of Sam's pirates left in the fortress. Not wanting to end up in the lake or fall into a trap, the remaining pirates evacuated the fortress and fled into the trees. The Dalai Lama had successfully reduced Smoky Sail Sam's crew to nothing, but this wasn't cause for celebration yet. Smoky Sail Sam himself was nowhere to be found. When the captain and the admiral's bridge dropped to the 5th level, Smoky Sail Sam appeared out of nowhere and leapt onto the bridge with his sword raised. Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson fought the manic pirate as the bridge swung and spun violently through the air. All 3 had to keep one hand on the railing so they weren't flung off of it. The Dalai Lama crew watched in horror as the bridge descended through the center of the pyramid, but there was nothing anyone could do. The twins' cart reached the 1st level and slid across the floor. They narrowly missed being crushed as the bridge crashed to the floor beside them. Smoky Sail Sam's sword was bent in the crash, so he tossed it aside. The large pirate picked up Auburn Sally by her coat and threw her across the floor. Admiral Jacobson charged him with a sword raised above his head. Smoky Sail Sam swiftly removed the rifle from his belt and shot the Admiral directly in the chest. "No!" Alex screamed. "Admiral!" his first mate yelled. Jacobson's eyes fluttered shut and he collapsed on the floor. Smoky Sail Sam turned and aimed his rifle at Auburn Sally. Alex tried to think of something magical to save the captain, but she was so distraught her mind went blank. "Any last words, Christine?" Smoky Sail Sam growled. "Yes," Auburn Sally said. "In red ain't dead." The final chime rang through the structure, and Smoky Sail Sam looked to the floor and saw that he had thrown Auburn Sally directly into an area outlined in red. The last rope snapped, and just as Smoky Sail Sam glanced upward, the heavy net of boulders fell directly on top of him. The Starboardia fortress had finished its job. It was so quiet that the Dalai Lama crew could hear one another's heartbeats. All eyes were on the slain admiral. Everyone assumed the captain was in shock because she just stared at Admiral Jacobson's body as if it would get up at any moment. Tears rolled down Alex's cheek as she buried her face in her brother's shoulder. "This is so sad," she said. "I can't even look." Connor rubbed his sister's back as he looked around at the devastated men and women throughout the structure. He scrunched his lips up to hide a smile because he knew something that they didn't. Admiral Jacobson suddenly sat up straight with a loud gasp that startled everyone in the pyramid. He pulled on a gold chain around his neck and lifted the Heart of the Caribbean from within his shirt. The bullet had been stopped by the large ruby. Ouch, the Admiral said as he rubbed his chest. That still really hurt. As far as anyone was concerned, this was a miracle. The fortress vibrated from the crew's thankful cheers. When Alex saw her brother smiling, she hit him in the chest. You knew that was going to happen the whole time, didn't you? She asked. You knew the Admiral was going to live. You just stood there and let us think that he had been killed. You were playing with our emotions for fun. His sister's angry accusation made him laugh so hard that he could barely breathe. I'm sorry, but I wanted to see your reaction to the end of the story, Connor confessed. The fact that you were so invested in the characters and didn't see the surprise coming means I did something right? Alex was so mad at her brother that she turned her back and walked a few steps away from him to calm down. Auburn Sally got to her feet and helped the Admiral to his. Aren't you glad I gave you my heart? Auburn Sally asked. Both times it saved my life, Admiral Jacobson said. The captain and the Admiral shared a passionate kiss, and the Dalai Lama's crew whistled and hollered at the lovebirds. We did it, Auburn Sally declared. We defeated Smoky Sail Sam and his fleet. His reign of terror over the Caribbean is over. The men and women cheered even louder than before. They embraced one another and held up their weapons in victory. Not So Jolly Joan and Too Much Rum Rhonda raised the bottle from inside their cage. And since Commander Bailey so generously and bravely helped us with our enemy, we must return the favor, the Admiral added. The Dalai Lama's crew went silent and their postures sank. They were hoping to go on vacation after defeating the most feared pirate in the ocean. How do we get there? Auburn Sally asked. I hope it's not by sailing in circles to the left. Connor pulled his binder of short stories out from his backpack and set it on the floor. He flipped it open to the glowing pages of Starboardia, and the beam of light illuminated the fortress. It's much easier than that, he said. We just step through the beam of light, and we'll be there in no time. The pirates and the sailors stared down at the glowing book nervously. Their captain and admiral nodded at them reassuringly, but even they were a little apprehensive. Connor tapped on Alex's shoulder. Are you ready to go home, or are you going to stay here and pout a little longer? He said with a sly grin. It took everything in Alex not to smile back, but after a moment she couldn't resist. Okay, I suppose you got me, she said. You're right. I wouldn't have been so worked up if I didn't care about the characters so much. It's a testament to good writing, and you should be very pleased with yourself. I completely forgot we were even in your story. For a few moments there, I truly believed with all my heart that we were living through what? Connor asked. Well, a pirate adventure. You were like, brr. You're angry at your level?
I wasn't angry. I just, lost it.
Frustrated at it? Yes.
Is the stream still on?
No, we're done now. Well, it's on, but I just finished the book, or the chapter. We just finished. All right, so we are done for the day.
Did you beat the pirates?
We beat the pirates.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good job.
We are going to go and get some work done and some foods, and then the game, and then I will post on, he's probably playing Mario Maker. Are you playing Mario Maker?
Kaizo.
Yeah. I will post on Patreon the agenda. Yes, Becca, as soon as I go downstairs. I will post the agenda for tonight's live. The live for tonight is here on TikTok. Tomorrow's live is the locked one. So I will post the agenda later. It will either be at like 4 or 4:30 or something like that, depending on what we figure out. And I will see you all then. If you are owed a roll for slime and you have not signed up for a spot for tonight, please go check and see if there are still spots available. I'm doing just 8 tonight on there, and then 1 group 1. So that is the whole kit and caboodle, because we need to go grocery shopping after, so I need to finish faster tonight. And yes, groceries are good for us. And that is pretty much it. So be here probably sometime between the 4 and 5 o'clock hours. I'll let you know specifically later on there. So have a good day until then. Enjoy your day off if you have one, and I'll see ya.
Adios.